Entertainment news today. You're such a dragon gay. Everything sucks and it's no good. That comes out of Hollywood. But there's one place you can go to get all your news and info, and maybe even have a laugh or two. You know it's true. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark. All those bombs and flops, but MEAD never stops. We will keep going through the night as we keep up the culture fight. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to your favorite show on the YouTubes, whether you like it or not. One of the longest-running entertainment podcasts out there. The one, the only, the original Midnight's Edge After Dark. That's right. We started in 1927. We're still going strong. That's right. We invented the internet with Al Gore. How you doing, Mark D?
Doing awesome. Yeah. And I guess Nick is here, but he's all blacked out tonight. Is he back in black, or what's happening?
I don't know
Nick?
how much more black he could be.
Yeah, well, that's that's a great Spinal Tap album. So
none more black.
Yeah, but great to be here. And I just got to say, if Jamie Lee Curtis is watching, F her, because I was going to mention that before the show, but you walked back her nice thing she said about Charlie Kirk. So
did she?
She got so much of a backlash for saying,
oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, so she walked it back and made all these excuses, and it's like, come on, just don't be a wimp. Just stand by your words, right? She was mistranslated. She said she was mistranslated. So
how was she mistranslated? We heard her own words.
Yeah, well, they came across the wrong way. She really should have been more critical, and she went on to say how much she loathed everything that Charlie Kirk stood for and said. And it's like you said, her statement was nice and not political, and then she had to make it political because she got tremendous backlash for not.
She even said she didn't necessarily agree with what he said. And in fact, I think she even said she didn't know that much about him, but she did know that he was a man who followed God or whatever. And like, I didn't see anything wrong with what she said. Oh,
that's the problem. People. You had to, because it's Charlie Kirk, she has to be against everything no matter what. Because to those type of people, you are in lockstep with them 100%. You can't go 0.1% over the line. Otherwise, when you do, backlash runs rampant.
Yep. And what does that say about the people that are supposed to be tolerant, right?
Right. So, well, that other voice you hear there.
The harder they signal, the greater the skeletons in the closet they are.
Speaking of being hard.
Nick. Nickelodeon. Nick. Nickelodeon.
Coming to you in doubly.
Wow.
Hugely. Hi, Tom. Hi, chat. Hi, Mark. There's news today. Slow news, but there's some news. And I'm happy to be on Thursday. I had delicious tacos today. I'm going to have delicious donuts in the morning. And my F1 Steelbook came in, and it looks really nice. It's really hard.
Nice.
Hard.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm really black. Like, I'm blacker than the blackest black times infinity.
That's right. Tonight, Nick is brought to you by Soul Glow.
No Nick on camera tonight. Yeah, just
No, he doesn't come on camera for me. MEAD is kind of laid back, you know. Even I'm kind of like I'm here. Yeah, but
yeah, I'm here. Oh, my camera.
No
camera
costumes.
No, nothing yet.
No, not today. I don't know why we decided. I don't know. We never decided on doing it in the first
I
place.
This is a
focused on my
costume.
children for my costumes. I didn't even think about myself for that this year. Maybe next year.
I kind of am Bat Tom, so this is my costume, right? So,
well, Tom, you really do need to dress up as this. If they still sell that Jaws,
I wish
they sell
Did
that
they
Jaws
ever really even make that? I mean,
I think I wonder if there was someone could Google it for us or
I don't ever remember seeing that ever in my life.
I bet you they had a Jaws costume. They must have been a Jaws costume.
I don't know. I think they got to a point where they're just making those up.
I'm checking right now. I'm goggling it. Yep.
I think they're making them up. Oh, look, we got a super chat from D-Bud, our illustrious wrench, if that's the word I'm looking for $5. Says, Tom will be happy to know I bought the 7-film Nightmare on Elm Street Blu-ray collection, and for Nick, I watched the gay one last night. Ooh.
Oh, nice. That's very heavy and hard of him. I like that.
You got the body. I got the brain.
I'm glad you watched.
Put your wiener away.
I'm glad you watched number 2, because number 2, flaws and all, lore breaking and all, it's still a very entertaining movie, and I can appreciate aspects of it. It's a fine on its own thing when you don't factor in the lore. Which, yes, hurting the lore is stupid. I agree, it's gay and retarded, but it's still a fine movie. It still tries to be entertaining. It's just kind of had a few misfires. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Yes. But Dream Warriors, Dream Warriors, oh yeah, that was with Mike Harlow. Dude, that was a fantastic episode. Dream Warriors is so good. And of course, you got the legendary Dokken with 2 killer tracks on there. Oh man, that movie like swings hard. Seriously, it swings very hard.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of swinging hard, what is this here in the background?
Oh, that's the
actual. They did actually do it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so because Mark shared it here. Let's take a look here.
Let's get it up.
Let's get it up.
This is Halloween news.
I did not know this.
So someone's got to get that for you on eBay.
Wow. I wonder what that goes for anymore. The Ben Cooper. Honestly, I've never been a big fan of the Ben Cooper costumes. I mean, nostalgically, yes, but I mean, I thought they were just cheap ass garbage. I hated them. Growing up.
They are cheap ass garbage, but that's
cheap.
That's how I grew up.
Shit.
I mean, they were Woolworths for $9.95, and then you didn't have to make a costume, or I remember
got it for
when
$9,
or whatever they were. But like, I was Evil Knievel. I was riding around on my dirt bike, pretending to be Evil Knievel. Like I thought I was the greatest thing on Meyer Place in 1978. I was a 10-year-old kid. But yeah, I mean, that's the only game in town right now. I mean,
they were so like hazards. You could cut yourself on those bitches.
Yeah, the mask hurt.
And where do they put the hardest edges where you could cut yourself? Right around your eyes and mouth.
Yep. Oh, they were horrible. But that's what everyone had. How
many children lost eyes because of Ben Cooper? That's all I want to know. Sliced my eyeball out. Joe Pat 87, how you doing? Sending in $9.99. Says last week's The Substance. Now I Caught Weapons, another great unique horror flick. Sorry, not skimping on the gore. I haven't checked it out yet. It's on HBO. Subtextual setup and tremendous payoff, and despite a spoilery thumbnail on Amazon and HBO. Yeah, I saw it was on HBO Max, and I got HBO Max for like a week or two yet, so I might just watch it. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know what I think if I do. But with that, I believe I can speak. Let's get into the news. We had an update on Supergirl from the actor who played the elf in Santa Claus. So let's hear what he had to say. Nick brought this to my attention.
What can you tease about Supergirl? What kind of tone or surprises can fans look forward to with that?
Oh, wow. Well, it's very true to the graphic novel that it's based on, Woman of Tomorrow. Very true, which is great.
No, it's not.
Plus Lobo, which I can say everybody knows that Jason Momoa is playing Lobo in it. So it's that comic plus Lobo. What else can I say? I can't say much, man. I'll just say that I'm thrilled to be sort of the next piece of telling the story of Krypton and sort of further clarifying what the House of L is all about.
What can you tease about Supergirl? What kind of tone or
All right, so Nick, you made a comment already, so I'll let you start off with this since you brought it to my attention anyhow. Go for it.
Oh boy. This is one of those rare instances where when you hear that it's truthful, faithful to the story, where you want that to not be true, because Tom King and Supergirl is a horrible idea of a concoction, even if he's not the actual writer, but they're basing off his story, Woman of Tomorrow. And the people who like Tom King up until their favorite character gets ruined by Tom King. That's how it is. That's how it is. He's a very polarizing writer, very polarizing. He has permanently, and I'm only calling it permanent because the comic still hasn't recovered, permanently destroyed the Batman comic to a point where its sales have never recovered since that happened, the incident in 2018. And you're basing your story off of a Tom King story. You're being faithful to that. Now, the one thing that's not, and it's not the studio's fault, is the inclusion of Lobo. Lobo is being done for a movie, but to be fair, but I'm actually glad DC went against this, but it wasn't for the reasons I wanted. Tom King actually wanted Lobo in his story. The only reason why he wasn't in his story is because the character was not available for use because he was being featured in another story, so he couldn't use him. So this is their way of saying, okay, well, now we get to use them for the movie based off your story. It's a good thing Tom King didn't have Lobo, because he would have made Lobo all about drinking goat milk, crying on Supergirl's shoulder all day and night, having panic attacks, having suicidal thoughts, cutting himself. Everything that is the antithesis of a soy boy that likes his avocado toast is what Tom King writes of his men. Lobo is everything that Tom King is not. Lobo's actually a man, and Tom King is not. And I am horrified at the idea of what that would have been. Having him in the story will probably be the one good element of this movie, but I don't imagine anything else around this movie is going to be good. But this is a very major red flag if it's true. And keywords, if it's true. Because guys say things all the time, and half the time it's true, half the time it's not. So I'm still going to take this with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, how many times do we hear, oh, it's faithful to the material, and then we get the Netflix adaptation, right?
Nowadays, sadly, the Netflix adaptation would be better than what we would get out of Woman of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't read the original Jack Kirby female Silver Surfer series from the 60s? You didn't see that?
That is fake news. Don't even talk about that. It's fake news.
I had someone try to start lecturing me about I've watched all the Marvel movies and I read there was a female Silver Surfer, and I'm thinking,
when you say that, your tourist is coming out. Like your tourist shows so hard when you say that.
You are literally that meme, or deserve that meme where it's like, get out, like fuck off, dude. Like, are you serious right now?
I'm like, how many so I was like, do you have 20,000 comic books in your basement? And they looked at me like, you have 20,000 comic books? I'm like, I think I have 20,000 comic books. And I'm like, trust me, she was in 2 issues, and they're bullshit.
Of a non-universe story where she was in a few panels of 2 issues. Yeah,
but that's what you're gonna get. So this is the 2021 Tom King 8-issue.
Somewhere between 2018 and 2021, somewhere around that gap. I was not reading.
Yeah, but that's the
DC book at this time, and it was definitely not this one.
Yeah, so this is I'm just trying to figure out which one it is. Yeah, so that's the Woman of Tomorrow.
Yes, it
was
is.
8 issues, right? Yeah. So it's pretty recent. Yeah, it's a pretty recent tale. Of course, there's all these classic Supergirl tales that they could go to when they're not, they've got to do with all this modernity stuff. So, like I did like Jason Aaron's run on Thor, contrary to most popular opinion. But the God, the when you had the God Killer, and God, they butchered then. Then we got Love and Blunder, which is such a horrible movie. But if you read up to that point before Jane Foster appears, and I did like the storyline, not taking over for Thor, but I did really enjoy it. And you've got Takiti Wahidi cracking jokes when Jane Foster's on her deathbed. I'm like, who the hell would write something so terrible?
Yeah.
Even if you don't like the comic, it was nothing. No, and I was a fan of those comics. I'm like throwing popcorn at the movie screen. It's like God, this is so bad.
Well, and I stuck up for Ragnarok, right? Look, you can get away with it once, but you cannot make a comedy about cancer, right?
No,
you can't. You just can't. You can do a movie with funny characters and get away with it in certain elements, but not in a Marvel film. And this is where I always it bothers me when people bitch about James Gunn's humor. It's like nobody ever had a problem with James Gunn's humor until he was doing other things. Did you ever notice that? Because the people always had a problem with Marvel humor. And I got to remind people, Marvel humor wasn't James Gunn's humor so much as it was everybody trying to be James Gunn and fucking it up like Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
See, because a lot of the gripes that people attribute to James Gunn, it's like he wasn't the one doing that. That was Waititi. James Gunn actually knew how to let a scene usually play out. I've told the story a dozen times, but it always makes me laugh every time I think about it, about how my cousin bitched me and my other cousins out because we told her she should see Guardians of the Galaxy. We think she'd like it. And then she got pissed at us because she's like, in the first few minutes, you guys said it was funny as hell. I'm fucking bawling my brains out and blah, 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 blah. Because, the opening bits with, his mother and all that stuff. Yeah.
No, he does know how to do the comedy, but he's best at those quirky characters, James Gunn. He's got a real talent for that.
I understand.
His whole career.
Yeah.
But Superman, like James Gunn is a fit for Superman. Like Peacemaker, I love Peacemaker, and it's like finding its own niche, away from the DC universe, and maybe it can be adjacent once in a while. But when he's doing his own things with these characters that Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm like, I can't believe this was actually a good movie. And you're right. Yeah, you get too much of a good thing, and people don't have his talent for comedy. And then then he can make it serious too. Like scene with Thor is just so damn funny, and when his arms are made out of steel muscle, and going off Star-Lord, the conflict there, but then they can get serious too. Like he gets serious later on in that Avengers movie, so it's not all jokes, and the jokes are usually pretty well timed and work pretty well. So Superman, once in a while, a couple of fun lines are, who's got me? You've got me. Who's got you? That kind of stuff is fine. But when you don't want that quirky, strange humor that.
So you didn't care for Superman as much then, is what you're saying?
I liked it, but some of the stuff wasn't a good fit for the character, and I didn't think, now that I've gotten to look past on it, he's not that impressive character that you'd really like to see. But I guess maybe he's a younger Superman. So we'll see how Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I had to listen to Snyder Bros for years going, it's his first day on the job. Anyhow, so what's your feeling on this whole Tom King situation with Supergirl, if you had anything more to say about that?
Well, I agree with Nick in terms of, just be careful what you wish for. I wonder how much these people actually read the graphic novel, and do they know it, or so I didn't like that.
I'm sure they would eat it up, because I'll bet you these are probably the normie type of comic book fans. And I'm not saying in the sense where they're trying to generally get to it and see what it's like for what it is, but these are the people who are going to hear about the news story and be told, well, this is great, you gotta read it, and they're going to get in line because of that. They ain't going to look into the actual classics, the ones that went down in history for all the notoriety that made comics. So they're probably at best pretend fans of recent stuff. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know who these guys are. I've never seen or heard of these guys before. But judging from the enthusiasm about Woman Tomorrow, or they might just be genuine Tom King fans who have not had their favorite characters destroyed by him, because he is seriously, he has wrecked Mr. Terrific, he has wrecked Adam Strange, he has wrecked Mr. Miracle, he has wrecked Batman, and the worst one he did was Wally West, the Flash. So like that's all Tom King does. Is he's one of the reasons why bad things happen to good people. Like if you wonder why, look no further than Tom King. Yeah, I know he's a CIA. Eat shit, dude. I don't give a shit about you. Too soy for CIA. Whatever. But no, this does not sound good at all, any way you put it. If it's somehow they're wrong or they're lying, I mean, alcoholic bitchy Supergirl doesn't sound appetizing. It doesn't sound like a good time either. Even if it ends up not being like Woman of Tomorrow, judging by what we got from Superman, and I enjoyed Superman. I did. I'm still going to stand by that. I'm not backtracking on any of that. I said what I said. But one of my few criticisms I maintained from day one was the portrayal of Supergirl in that scene. I have no issue with Crypto. I still don't like it being a teen movie, but Supergirl was definitely not a good scene.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could look at it from this other angle, or I can go at it from another angle a little bit, because everybody expects me to anyway. Kind of like I said, we've heard this how many times, where everything's supposed to be faithful to the source material, and it turns out to be anything but. I mean, I guess I can't exactly trust Bernard to know what the fuck he's talking about here. You know? He's just an actor for hire. Like you guys said, I highly doubt he's read any of the comics. So in that respect, I'm curious to how much it is really that much in line with the comic book. Now, as far as the portrayal of the character, I get why most people don't like it. I, on the other hand, as I've seen now the Superman movie about 4 times, the thing that I kind of thought about with her is like, at first, yeah, it kind of rubbed me a wrong way, because I like that Supergirl is usually technically older than Clark, but then by the time she gets to Earth, she's younger, so there's that dichotomy there. But if you think about it, she's not much different than Clark. Supergirl is really a lot like Superman, and even though I usually give her a pass because she's one of the first, she does fall into that category and is kind of the poster child for a lot of what I bitch about when we have the insert your pronoun version of said character here, whether it's Batgirl, one of the other ones, you know, down the line. They're all kind of this redundant female version of the male version of the character. And Supergirl is very much like Clark. So to me, to have a little bit different version of the character, I'm not against that, but you got to show me it. You got to let me see what it is in a way that is entertaining, and I'll give it a shot. So I'm not as attached to her as I am Superman. Now, that being said as well, I have heard a few rumors about the movie, because I did talk to some people about it. As I've heard before, I've heard about the budget. I've heard about some other things. Now, they did do some internal test screenings. And the rumor is that Lobo tested so well that they're going back and shooting a bunch more Lobo to put into the movie. So again, I reiterate, how much can this actually be like the Tom King graphic novel if they're doing a bunch of reshoots to insert more of the character that's not even in the original graphic novel? So again, Nick, I'm not trying to like goose you up or anything like that, make you think that it's something it's not, but I don't know if that helps any at all, but that's kind of my observation on this. What the fuck does Bernard know anyway?
Who knows what Bernard knows? And I appreciate your honesty on where you're at with it. For me, I mean, yeah, including Lobo would help as long as he looks and acts like Lobo should, because Tom King not being allowed.
I mean, Jason
Lobo,
Momoa is pretty much Lobo.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
if all you need is a
Never
Tom
should have
King
been Aquaman.
story, all you need is Tom King to actually write Lobo, and he'll show you how to ruin the character in 5 minutes. Trust me, it is a talent. It is a talent for Tom King to ruin characters. So it's a good thing he didn't write Lobo, because if they were to have adapted Lobo from that whatever hypothetical story that would have been, trust me, we would have had Lobo crying over on Supergirl's shoulder all movie long, and she would have done all the fighting, all the badass way. she probably would have said, I'm the main man, even though she's a woman. She would just say, well, it sounds good to say man, so I'm going to stick with man, even though I'm not actually a man. So it is a blessing in disguise. He was not allowed to use that character due to continuity reasons. As far as the movie, I mean, yeah, Lobo could make it better. Sure, of course he could. I mean, as long as he acts like Lobo, absolutely. However, Supergirl being an alcoholic bitchosaurus Rex going to help? No. So the movie might end up at best being, I guess you could say, a mixed bag where you'll have some good and some not so good. And hopefully Lobo would be good. But I actually do like Supergirl. I actually do have some Supergirl comics. I don't have like a lot of them. I only have like 50 of them, but I have them and I do like them. I do like that character of Kara Danvers. I like her.
Well, it depends on what, that last scene in the Superman movie, you just got that, 30-second, cameo there, basically. It's like, is that going to be her character the whole movie, or is she just throwing a temper tantrum and, just hung over at that moment?
She's an alcoholic, raging bitch in Supergirl Woman Tomorrow. Of the snippets that I looked into, my buddy Wes, speaking of Wes from Thinking Critical, Mecha J posted about Thinking Critical. Wes from Thinking Critical highlighted many of the stuff in Supergirl Woman Tomorrow when his channel was a lot smaller, when it was an ongoing limited series. He can highlight all the details for you. So you guys want to actually see it for yourself. Wes has it all on his videos. He's definitely the channel to go to see how horrific that comic is. And if it ends up being a lie that's less faithful to Woman Tomorrow, that's a great thing.
That's a good thing. I love the Peter David Supergirl run. I have that.
Dude,
but that's not really Supergirl. But yeah, that Peter, and God rest his soul, Peter David knew how to write comics, and got to meet him a couple of times at a couple of cons. And I said a couple of stupid things because, like, I was so nervous. Like, you're Peter David, or I'm like, I wish I'd bought something. I'm like, I should have brought something to sign. He's like, yeah, you probably should have, like really kind of snarky, but I was like, damn it, I didn't know you were going to be here, and not that he didn't say anything that I didn't deserve, but it was kind of fun, it's kind of funny, but I was just like, oh, thank you for all the years of great storytelling. And his run on Incredible Hulk and Supergirl, just phenomenal. Everything you wrote, I loved. So. They're not going to base. Why don't they do one of Peter David's great stories from Supergirl? I mean, technically, it's not Supergirl. It's the alien Supergirl, but
normies aren't going to know or understand that, though.
Yeah, they wouldn't know that.
It's one of those things you just can't bring up.
You can't bring up.
Cause confusion. It reminds me. You know what? I'll save the Logan story after this comic because I got a great Logan story, and it does connect to Mark's Supergirl stuff. But read this comic.
I was just gonna say, like, R.C. Anderson kind of goes along with what I was saying here. Is having Supergirl be a little more counter to Superman's personality, I think, is good. The team up with Lobo, I think, will be great. I've never read the book, but I have a feeling that Supergirl will learn how obnoxious she is by dealing with Lobo, kind of like a Lilo and Stitch thing. I think that's what I think is going to happen in the film. I could be wrong. I mean, if that's part of the original book, then it makes sense, and I can see why you would have a character like Lobo up against somebody like that. But
in Tom King lore, no character comes out improved in their life. All characters come out worse. I'm not joking. Like, this is, I don't do, anyone who watches my streams or videos, hyperbole is a very rare thing. I don't sensationalize. I don't exaggerate. When I say something is, it actually is. It's not, well, I interpret that word. That's how I saw it. When something is, it actually is. There's no two other ways about it. Tom King stories don't have happy endings, whether it's a sexual one or real life ones. No one has a happy ending in Tom King stories.
Was he the one that wrote Batman and Catwoman's
the marriage that wasn't?
The marriage that wasn't. Was that Tom King? Or
yes, that was Tom King.
Yeah, that was Tom King too. Yeah, I'm just
the guy who went out late night TV says it's gonna happen, guys, and shops went all in on putting out wedding invites. Some shops even like some of the big like was it now Graham Cracker Comics? That's like one of the big regional chains. Some of the stores did midnight releases for it, up to and including wedding cakes, and then reality hit that the comic spoiled a few days ago from New York Times that it wasn't going to happen. And I remember at my shop in Chirac, it didn't matter if you were the right, it didn't matter if you were left, it didn't matter if you were a Christian, it didn't matter if you were atheist. Everyone in unison united over how pissed they were. And everyone knew not to be mad at the retail owner. They all bought a copy just to, not leave the retailer like hanging, because that's a lot of copies to be stuck with, which they had every right to not buy it. But a lot of them said, I'm going to buy this issue, but pull me off Batman after this. And those Batman sales cratered after the wedding that wasn't. Because he was supposed to
got left at the altar.
He was supposed to do a 100-issue run, but the sales plummeted so hard that he cut down 15 whole issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, and to this day, like, you've had other writers, like, I don't read it, but I follow some of my friends' videos on it. I'll listen to it, and I'll even look up like sales reports. Batman has not recovered since Tom King's destruction of the character. And sadly, it's the most famous destruction, but that's not his worst one. There's worse. There's way worse. And he did some weird things with Batman, giving him the panic attacks, making him suicidal as a kid, and then having every other word between Batman and Cat being bat, cat,
cat,
bat, cat. And then every word would have a period followed by another word with a period. I remember I once tweeted to Tom King, Tom, people don't talk this. I'm not exaggerating. Go look at those comics. I actually read those comics. That's how I know. So this is not me pulling shit out of my ass, just wanting to have something to rant about. John Evans.
Well, he did
the earlier portion of the Batman Tom King run before sales plummeted. We're talking pre-issue 50, when the wedding was on the way.
Wait, didn't he do the Batman? It was way like 15, 20 years ago, but it was like it was a novel, and they had like the most words ever in a comic book. And I don't think I could ever finish it. It was a Batman book, and I think that was Tom King too.
No, because Tom King was a 2010s.
Okay, I'm trying to remember when it was.
Sensation. What happened was he got some success, accolade wise, not sales wise, from a Marvel book actually on the Vision. It was a 12-issue series, and it had all these accolades. And
that
DC
might have been
came
Tom
knocking
King
on his door saying, "Hey, we want you to be a part of our company. You could take whatever book you want." And he asked for Batman. They gave him Batman. And before you know it, he immediately went up from obscure writer writing the Vision for Marvel to I'm now writing Batman for DC. And it's funny enough, I actually know people who've read both the Vision and Batman who like his Vision work and say his Batman is awful.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might have been Tom King. I'm trying to remember what the book was. If anyone in the chat
it wasn't Tom King, yeah. Tom
King.
I
don't know how old it was. I just remember it was like just so with like the point of the book was like it was supposed to be like a novel instead of a comic book, but like every panel was filled with like 50 words or something. It was like, I can't finish this. I'm just putting this down. Sounds like something Tom King would do. I mean,
sounds like for sure. So it's definitely something he would do for sure. But yeah, you know, people think, oh man, Hollywood's filled with bad dads. Every man is a piece of trash. Every dad is awful in a Tom King story. Even dads that are awesome, normally in DC lore, he will change them so that they are awful. He will straight up change them. And I'm not exaggerating this. Go read that shit and tell me I'm wrong. I will challenge anyone on planet Earth with my claims to the moon and back.
Well, the comics have just been on such a downturn now too. But you got to.
All I'm saying is I'll go on for 10 more years. I should probably stop while I'm still ahead. Otherwise, I see I guess I'll acknowledge RC Anderson's kind of, I personally disagree with that. I mean, I could see why people would like that, but as someone who has a point of reference, knowing what Supergirl is like and having that there, saying, hey, it's right there. These are stories that are well received, well liked by actual fans. Why aren't you going to these for points of reference? Instead, you're going for the least liked story, the story that did not sell well. They're trying to play revisionist history, DC, saying, oh, this is a claim story. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It sold okay when it first came out. And then after issue 2, I think because it was like 7 issues or something, it cratered off. It did not sell. The only thing that actually made it sell was when it was announced that there was going to be a Supergirl movie based off the story, and you got some trade paperback success, and that was all a short-term success. But Supergirl's Woman of Tomorrow story did not have any long-term viral success the same way, let's just say, The Last Ronin does. Even some normies now have heard of the TMNT comic, The Last Ronin. Not many of them, but at least some, which should tell you that should give you a good idea. You can even go into a Target right now. You might even see a hardcover of The Last Ronin on their shelves. That is one of those stories that I guess you could say is now in the stratosphere of pop culture. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow was never that. Nowhere even close to that. Not even close. So even if you take out my opinions of these stories and you just look at the facts, look at the data, look at how it actually performed on sales, taking out opinions, it still wasn't a success either. It still wasn't. Well, and once again, I'm going to be fair. Even to a douchitarian fucknut like Tom King, at least his earlier Batman half of his run did sell very well. It was selling in the 6 digits. Every issue, 1 through 50, was all 6 digits. 100, 200, I think 300,000. He had an audience there. Whether you like it or not, obviously a whole other conversation. But did he have an audience? Yes. Then along comes issue 50, and he lost over 60%, maybe more, of his steady readership with that book. And that book has, since 2018, been in sales limbo since. It's funny. In some ways, you can make the argument that Tom King broke the bat harder than Bane ever did in Nightfall. For those who know their Batman lore, that's a little reference to the 5 of you in the chat who understand that reference.
I'm sure a few people do.
That was a great. I love that series. Yeah.
So let's see what you guys are saying out in the chat. We got Joe Pat 87. It says David Crummels, Bernard the Arch Elf, still funny. Yeah. Judd Hirsch played his dad like Jeff Goldblum. Joe Pat 87 points out. Thank you for that, Joe Pat. And then Soul Nightmare says WOT does have happy endings. She gets over her grief, helps Ruthie with hers. Krem is put in the Phantom Zone, and the future comes out reformed. Women of Tomorrow is what he means. Okay, well, there you go. And then also Soul Nightmare adds that Supergirl's parents are good, and Ruthie's dad is murdered because he is good and loyal. So there you go.
Supergirl, I don't recall that story having a happy ending.
Well, yeah, I didn't read it, so I can't speak to it.
Yeah.
But that's pretty brutal. Tale of revenge, I mean.
Yeah. We do have a couple other stories. Now, I'm not a big Call of Duty guy, but it looks like Taylor Sheridan's got a few things up his sleeve before he takes off from Paramount. In fact, it looks like he's teaming up with Peter Berg on a Call of Duty movie. He said duty. Peter Berg will co-write the script with Taylor Sheridan for Paramount and Activision's live-action feature film adaptation of Call of Duty. Berg, whose credits include Friday Night Lights and Deepwater Horizon, will also direct. The deal comes the week that the news broke that Sheridan, one of the company's biggest hitmakers, will move his overall pack to NBC Universal in 2029. It appears that Paramount Skydance will keep him busy until then, and the subject matter sounds right up Sheridan's alley, given his penchant for action-heavy thrillers and procedurals. Sheridan, Berg, and 101 Studios, David Glasser, will produce the project. That's interesting. Let's see here. Just gets into the rest of what it's about. Doesn't say anything about plot details. Haven't been revealed. So yeah. What do you guys think about a Call of Duty movie?
Dude, you said duty. Yep.
Duty. That's all I think about is duty.
Wasn't that the most popular video game right now, or is what would be the most popular? That they're one of the most popular. Call of Duty,
Minecraft?
right?
I don't know.
Well, adult wise, yeah. I mean, it's pretty huge, right? And Halo was. I never watched any of the Halo stuff, but I heard that went off the rails, and they screwed that up ridiculously with their politics and how they screwed up the story. But Taylor Sheridan, he's a manly man, right? If you watch Landman and Yellowstone, or as I like calling it, Jellystone, I mean, he's got some great masculine characters in there. Rip, I mean, great to have a friend like Rip. You got a problem, it's like, call Rip. I mean, so
Hey, boo boo, what do we say? We take this guy to the train station and take his picnic basket? I don't know, Yogi. That's pretty bad. I don't care what you think, Yogi. You can get the fuck out the family.
yeah, it's the mafia on does Jellystone, right? Yeah, so brutal stuff. I mean, Landman is a lot of fun to watch. It's like we like immersing ourselves in these stories, pretend it's escapism, and yeah, if they stick to the the story in terms of don't try to make any political points and just tell the damn story, and it could be really good, I think. So I like Sheridan stuff. So I guess he's probably the most prolific hitmaker now in Hollywood, right? I mean, who else could you name?
Television wise, yeah.
Right? I mean, who Tulsa Kings. I mean, he's got a magic touch. The guy.
I mean, he has
really
almost more hits than some of the most prolific guys ever have. Like maybe
Right?
Norman Lear or somebody like that might come close.
So
Or who's the people behind like the CSI shit, maybe? But that's, that's about the closest I can think of. Yeah.
So I think it could be good stuff. I mean, I guess, and then his deal with Paramount is ending in a couple of years, but I think he can still make stuff for.
Oh yeah, as it sounds like here, they're going to keep him busy. But as far as like beyond that contract, I'm sure Paramount wants to extend the shows they can. I don't know. Maybe they can, depending on what the contract says. If he doesn't want to, it's hard to say. They could. I'm curious. I mean, I think it's just a first look deal, so you might be right that they. I mean, if the show's still ongoing and he wants to work with them and they want to work with him, I don't see why not. But yeah,
it's not like an exclusive deal too.
I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it's completely exclusive. It's just a first look deal. So that means anything he comes up with after that point, they got first dibs on, basically, is my understanding. I'd have to look into it deeper, but.
Yeah. Well, this is a big blow to Paramount too to lose him, because I mean, isn't he basically the streaming service? So you could rename it the Sheridan Plus, right? I mean, it's everyone wants to subscribe to watch his shows, right? That's the draw. I mean, you got that great old catalog, but
Cannell had a lot. Did he have more than this though at once? That's my question. The only other person I could think of is maybe Bochco.
Simon and Simon. Oh, I love Simon and Simon. What a great show that was.
But anyhow, Nick, what's your feelings on Call of Duty?
I have never played it, so I don't really know anything about it. I know it as
Duty.
Never played with the Duty. I know it has a massive fan base, and I hope it's good for the Call of Duty fans. And I will never pass up an opportunity to say duty, because, well, the duty.
Yeah, I got very little care about this. I mean, I'm not surprised it's happening. This is some real pedigree to get behind it.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, the pedigree behind it is possibly the only thing to get me interested in this, because otherwise, I don't even know if I've ever really played a Call of Duty game before.
You played with Duty, though?
No,
not
really. There was that one time in college, but...
Ooh, go on.
No, I can't talk about it on YouTube. So we'll see how this turns out. We did have one other story, and we got another super chat in the chat. I'm holding off just till we get done with these stories here. We got a new Scream trailer. I don't know how big of Scream fans we have with us here on the panel besides myself, but speaking of Paramount, they dropped this today. I'd heard this was coming. This is gonna be interesting to see how they handle this film, considering all the controversy behind the scenes going into it. But I have to admit, this kind of has me somewhat interested. Now, I don't want to bury the lead here, so let's check it out.
This is it. Can't believe we're staying at the Psycho Killer B&B. Oh, that's so cool. It's a motion detector.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney. Did you miss me? Nice little town you found. You and your pretty daughter. Reminds me of where we grew up.
Well, you sure know a lot about me for another asshole hiding behind a voice changer.
Oh, I'm not hiding, Sydney. Not this time.
Down to the end.
This was a good scene.
Yeah, I did catch this trailer earlier.
I like this part. This is good. Yeah.
I want to be a fighter, like you. If you hurt her.
I'm not going to hurt her until you're here to see it.
Let's unmask this fucker.
All your friends died for just being near you.
Where is my daughter? Tatum, listen to me. He's trying to find another way in. We're gonna do this together. You're gonna have to shoot him through the wall. Where? To the right of the door. Shoot him now! Do it now! Oh, you got it. He's dead.
It does almost feel like they're giving away most of the movie, though.
Right? I mean,
I'm gonna burn it all down.
Mother!
I could have made that trailer 30 seconds. That last scene, a couple of clips.
What was that?
Sorry, I was talking about, but you know, you could have taken that last clip. I'm gonna burn it all down, and take a couple of quick snippets here and there. You just don't need these long trailers. I mean, I don't mind seeing them, but you're right. It's one of my pet peeves.
That's why you gotta
It's crazy.
not watch these trailers many times. Just watch them once or twice, and try to not think over too much about it, so that way you can forget about them. When you see an actual theater, you forget about it, because nowadays these movies, the trailers have a way of blowing their wads with them.
Kind of interested in this, and I'm also interested to see how they work back in the old dead characters too. Kind of have a feeling how I know that it's going to end, but we'll see if I'm right or wrong on that.
Are we going to get Dewey back?
I want you to tell me.
Make an appearance, yeah.
Can you tell me how you think they're, or can you tell me in private? Should we wait
I think that so there's this rumor for years about this whole thing with Stu having a twin brother. I hope that's not the way they go.
Uh-huh.
Because if that's the case, it's really going to suck. Because Matthew Lillard is supposed to be in the film, and his voice is one of the voices I hear in the thing. So I have no idea what it's going to be per se, but I have if that's the way they go, that's going to be really dumb. But I know that's something they talked about doing for years before. Because Matthew Lillard keeps popping up in cameos in like 2, and I think he was popped up in one of the other ones, but I don't know. We'll see. Otherwise, I'm curious to see if Dewey just shows up in like a flashback sequence. Because I think because the fact that it's called Scream 7 tells me that they are acknowledging the last 2 films. So they're not calling it something else.
They're not ignoring it completely, right? Yeah.
No, right. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Which that sucks, but yeah.
I mean, you got to be the biggest Scream fan here, Tom. But
I'm sure I am on the panel anyway. Yeah,
yeah, but they're. I mean, they're fun. Yeah, they're fun movies. You know, it's just. Do we need another Scream movie? Maybe not, but this looked pretty interesting. Looked fun, and if you're a fan of horror, and I like Nev Campbell, and I love the concept of it. I think it's a great. Scream has a great. Great idea, especially, when you go back to watch that first movie and the person calling on the phone and, the big flip in the end, you think Drew Barrymore is going to be the star, right, of the movie, and she gets wiped out in the beginning. I mean, what a great groundbreaking movie Scream was. So, and you do like seeing these characters over time. So, yeah, killing off Dewey just pissed everyone off. They wanted to do it to, for the stakes of the show. I'm like, this is a slasher horror film. We don't need realism.
The
know
problem
what
I
the
think also
stakes are.
people had was that the person that killed him was like some 5'0" 100-pound wet chick.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't one of,
This guy has survived 6 fucking movies to that point, or 5 fucking movies to that point. And I mean, he's literally been killed off in almost every one of the fucking movies.
Stabbed, brutalized. Yeah, the first movie you think he's dead, right? Yep.
I mean, it's kind of almost the ongoing joke. You almost kind of have to keep him alive just because that's kind of like, not only that, he is kind of the heart. He's one of the only members that if they show up that you could believe he'd have a reason to. Because even Nev Campbell, I said that for the last 2, and at least she wasn't in the last one. Because I couldn't believe with Scream 4, I'm like, you had the ultimate opportunity to have a joke here and still have her in the film by whoever calling her, and like Gail calling her and going, the murders are starting again. And she's like, oh yeah? Does it have anything to do with me? No, not this time, it looks like. Okay, bye. Like, why even get involved? But yeah, so yeah, anyhow, I never even watched all the 6th one. I just skimmed through it, like literally skimmed through it.
I never watched it.
Yeah.
That was the one with Jenna Ortega, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, both 5
and
5 and 6 were.
Yeah.
Goddess of Whim is in the house. How you doing, Goddess? Sends in $5. Our lovely wrench says, seriously, Scream should have stayed in the 90s. It loses something more as time passes, like most horror franchises. I don't disagree. The first 3 films were pretty much a decent trilogy. 4 was kind of fun just because it was commenting on reboots and remakes already before Scream 5 came out, and then Scream 5 did retread that ground again and only did it worse. And then Scream 6 was just, as far as I'm concerned, unwatchable. So we'll see how this turns out, but you're probably not wrong, Goddess, on that one. Corporal Jenkins wants us to watch the Feckham Hall trailer. Now, I actually saw this trailer in theaters, and I have no frame of reference for this fucking thing. I don't get it. I know some people think it's funny as hell.
Was that the spoof of Downton Abbey?
It's what it looked like to me. I mean,
yeah, that was funny. No, that was I agree. That was, the classic British humor. I thought that was pretty damn
maybe
funny.
it's just
whether the
some of
movie's
it's
gonna be
lost
good.
on me, perhaps. Like I just said, it's just not my. I mean, and I usually like Monty Python-esque type humor. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not getting it.
Well done, Father.
England, 1931. Welcome to Feckham Hall, home to the Davenports.
Finally, one of our children is to be wed.
After so many years of courting, she's finally found the right cousin.
It was a different time. A simpler time.
I mean, it's like kind of like airplane type shit, I guess.
You're here for the position of hall boy, is that right?
You've brought all the wine out from the cellar.
Yes, Mom.
And closed the cellar hatch.
A time of manners.
Stop gawping and do your job.
A time of modesty.
What is that you're reading?
It's a tale of forbidden love.
Oh boy!
And a time of murder.
Well, considering Mark's laughing as much as he is, then this movie clearly works.
Works for me. That's my kind of humor.
I think Gary saw it and he said the same thing. I'm nerdrotic, but yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, you were saying.
I just like this. I just like this kind of shit. It's just stupid, but it just makes me laugh. So.
I don't know. Maybe it just caught me in a way. I'm just like, okay, I get it, but okay. But we'll keep going since
keep going. Yeah, I'm laughing.
Since it was a super chat.
Here regarding the murder of Lord Davenport. I'm afraid you're too late. Someone's already done it.
I believe the murderer to be in this room. I shall be watching you all. And if there's anything out of the ordinary, you can be damn sure I'll notice it.
Fucking Panda Bear. I hate Panda.
I mean, I get that's making fun of like the Poirot, Agatha Christie stuff. But I don't know. Maybe I'll have to give it a shot.
I mean, the movie could end up being stupid or horrible. But,
I don't know. Maybe it just caught. I wasn't sure what the fuck it was the first time I saw the trailer. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Try looking into that orphan boy.
Tell me your dreams.
Well, I have this dream where my penis falls off, but I can't go to the doctor because I'm late for school.
Same.
What on God's flat earth is going on?
Oh, well,
You made it to 7. To London's oldest ever chimney sweep.
How does anyone know when they're in love?
Maybe there's just something in the air.
Dick Cheney.
Precisely.
God is there shining a light. And today, he's shining a light for these two our souls. And today, he's shining a light for these two. Our souls are eternally in his debt. Amen.
All right, I'm going to see that.
Yeah. All right, there you go, guys.
Didn't float Tom's boat. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll see it at some point. But thank you, Corporal Jenkins. And then Imaginative Hobbyist says, Happy Halloween, Mead. Well, happy Halloween to you. What is the scariest scene in a non-horror movie for you? Oh, good question.
Well, I got one. If it's a TV show that scared me for years. Dragon's Domain, Space 1999, where there's an alien graveyard of ships, and there's this alien creature that just, you open the door and it sucks you in, and then you come out as a corpse. And oh my God, it scared the crap out of my sister and I. We had nightmares. We couldn't sleep at night. My mom's like, I'm a young kid. I'm like, 8 or 10 or whatever the heck when it came out. And she said, what did you guys watch? I'm like, there's a monster that can, if we open the closet door, he's going to suck us out and eat us and spit us back, And I finally found it years later, back when I got the DVD set, and told my sister, I'm like, I found the episode that scared the crap out of us as kids, Dragon's Domain, Space 1999. And, what a scary show. Now, of course, now when you watch on like a 60-inch TV, the special effects, it's, it's all blown up. On a little black and white TV, it was scary. Yeah. And Imaginative Hobbyist has a good one too. The Computer Lady in Superman 3. Oh, that
would probably be my choice, because like thinking of non-horror, like a lot of this stuff would be somehow related to horror. That's the only one I can think of that's a non-horror thing that, it was pretty scary as a kid. Probably. Nick, anything come to mind for you? The first time you saw boobs and realized you were gay?
Yeah, I can't remember that time. That's the thing. Shit. I don't, man.
Like a non-horror, yeah. It can't be like in a Freddy movie or something. Yeah, it's got to be.
I actually think, and I think when I was 8, I think I was 8 or 9 when the Star Wars special editions hit theaters, and there was that one thing that popped up in the Winnie the Millennium Falcon. I think I jump scared in the movie theater from that. I think.
Fair enough.
I don't know if I call it like a horrific scene, but that was like, whoa, and that's not a horror movie.
I think it's meant to do that, so like, yeah.
And it worked. It got 9-year-old Nick.
Yeah, I mean, there's I'm cheating, but like Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Well, that's horror, but some of the made-for-TV stuff.
Well,
Trilogy of Terror.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say those are like some of the things that scared Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. I know that's
those
horror.
Are meant to be horror, yeah.
Those are meant to be horror, but that I'm just those are the things that come to mind. That especially when you're a young kid and you watch something too as an adult, and The Exorcist I still can't watch again to this day. I mean, it just scares me too much, so I can't sleep at night if I have to watch The Exorcist. I gotta put the cross over me, and because I believe in, I'm a Catholic, so then that movie just does such a great job of. With the devil there. So, I'm just trying to think of things that kept me up at night as a kid.
Well, my answer is Twilight. The whole thing.
The whole thing.
The fact that it exists. No. Yeah. And then speaking of horror films, ActionCom wants us to look at some Nightmare on Elm Street posters. I suppose we can. Why not?
That's always fun. Yep.
Take a look here at some of them. Of course, you got the old OG original right here. There you be. That's a good one.
I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
Just perfectly tell. You don't need these crazy trailers, right? That just tells the whole movie in a few seconds, and boom.
Less is more.
Right?
Imagine that concept. Yeah, nowadays they're just like they really just love blowing their wads nowadays. It's like, guys, save some for the movie, man. Like we want to actually like have the element of surprise. And nowadays they just want everything out there. It's just what happened. And I like going to a movie and being surprised and seeing things like, oh, whoa, okay. That was they withdrew that from the movie. Genius. Nowadays
I always liked this one too.
Want now
That's
you to know
good.
everything. I don't like that. This is a good poster. I like this. The man.
This is not the one they use for the video usually, but
yeah, they should have used the gay man of your dreams is back. That would have been I mean,
man of your gay wet dreams is
tell me I'm wrong. They should have went with it. I wish they did.
That's fun.
That's a really good poster. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Part 3 here. If I can
Balls.
Do you collect movie posters, Tom? Or
oh yeah, I got too many. I don't have too many. Though.
It's like me, right?
Yeah. 2 Nightmare.
I keep buying posters.
2 Nightmare, 2 homoerotic. That was good from Bill Preston. Like I get it. I was like his Too Fast, Too Furious. You can never be too homoerotic though. That's the thing. You can always get more so. That's what Toxic Tuesday always aspires to be.
That's what it's all about. That's right.
Look, I like that poster. I like that one. I really like that one.
And these were all by the same artist. I'm trying to remember his name.
I like that one too.
Yeah, 4 is one of my favorites. I had this on my wall for years. This is always
in your bedroom or
yeah, yeah.
Tom doesn't get scared at night, right? Yeah.
Fuck no.
Not like me. I'm a wimp. Yeah.
Fuck no. And here's the original version of this.
1, 2. Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4. Better lock your door.
If you notice, they did change it slightly because people were complaining about the baby image.
So then they got rid of the baby.
The baby carriage.
Yeah.
This is another one on the video. They didn't use this image here. But then Freddy's Dead, funnily enough, they went with a different artist. But the original artist did do a version of Freddy's Dead. Because the poster that most people remember, of course, being this one here. But if somebody wants to look up the name of the artist or finds it, just let us know in the chat of the other posters. He did do one for the soundtrack. So here's what the original artist who did all those other posters for 1 through 5 would have done for Freddy's Dead right there. That's his poster. So, there you go. New Nightmare.
Interesting.
New Nightmare is kind of boring. Neither one of them are that great. One is just Freddy's eyes, and the other one is a fucking Photoshop Freddy picture.
Yeah, movie posters of some of them just these days are so lacking. But I did put a something in your privates for some actually movie posters I wanted to show you anyway.
You want to show him his
here's that
posters?
They did the New Nightmare for some reason on the video.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's pretty bland.
Okay, so yeah, then you have you were showing me this too before. Where we got the Vice Press here.
Yeah, these.
Ooh, nice.
I like that werewolf, American Werewolf in London. There's some great posters here. So Vice Press has they're a boutique poster company, and that Jaws one. You look at the Howling one, how good that. Some of them they redo them and they reissue, but I bought a few of their posters, and they're like printed on cardboard. The poster paper is so thick. I mean, they're like Mondo posters. They're just incredibly high quality. That Jaws one, look how cool that Jaws.
I've seen one kind of like that with the shore, looking like a shark.
Check the shore. Check the privates.
That's
Check
yeah,
the
that's
shore. Check the privates.
All right. Well, let's see what else you guys are talking about there. We got one more super chat here.
Oh, did you
go
see
ahead.
sorry, Chad, to interrupt. Did you see the Turtles poster that was there?
Yeah, I saw that. That one's all right.
That's all right, right? Yeah,
The
that's
turtles
Matt
are
Ferguson.
little though. They're like hardly in the picture.
Yeah, that's what it was too bad. It was they were kind of small. But that's Matt Ferguson. He's one of the
It's not bad looking though. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. But he's really talented guy. He's done some great he did that fantastic Star Wars poster that was out for the 20th anniversary of
I was mad because when I went to see it in the theater, they didn't have the fucking anniversary posters. The AMC
they didn't have them, yeah.
No.
Bastards.
Corporal Jenkins says the intro sequence to the remake of Outer Limits, that scares him. Well, isn't Outer Limits kind of supposed to be sort of a kind of horror-ish suspense?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but anthology horror, sci-fi horror, but Outer Limits I always thought
more sci-fi, but yeah.
More to it. But yeah, and the remake of Outer Limits was really well done. There's some fantastic new Outer Limits episodes.
Oh, that's what he was talking about was the remake.
Yeah.
Well, now, Nick, they may be getting the sequel. Didn't I hear the TV show got canceled, though?
The Rise show got canceled.
Well, Rise has been
Rise
canceled
got
for a while.
canceled. As far as
been
the
canceled
show,
for years.
I didn't know that there was a Moon Mayhem show. I didn't know that it got canceled.
I think it
heard
didn't
about
get picked up from what I heard.
I know. I didn't know. I knew there was a sequel movie coming, but I have no desire to watch that. I'm good. I
don't need to see it.
Years of other great TMNT and many other variations of entertaining formats. I can enjoy it. It won't be from that.
Well, I will see you guys on the morning show tomorrow. It is Halloween. And I may do some MEAD radio at some point. You never know, but we'll see. But what about you guys? Nick, what you got coming up? I know you got a show usually on Fridays.
Yeah.
It used to be on Fridays anyway, but you moved it. That's right.
Yes, I moved it to Saturday. Clobby's Comic Shop, 6 p.m. Saturday. Toxic Tuesday is back on YouTube. And we'll be talking, we're on Bond Month. We'll be talking The World Is Not Enough next week. That should be tons of fun. And go sub to my Bonded by Metal channel if you haven't. We hammer a lot of videos there lately, from Sabaton to Iron Maiden to Testament and a lot of other things in between. Yeah, it's been fun to be here. Otherwise, I'll be on TNT in 2 hours. Thanks for having me, Tom. It's been good to hang out with you and the boys.
Always.
Gay with hay.
And then we have Mark D. What's up? Got anything coming up besides Sunday night or just the Sunday night show?
Well, we got Sunday night and Friday night. Of course, it's Halloween, so I got to figure out. But I'm not, young and partying all Halloween. But usually do Fortnite on late night Friday nights, and I'm gonna try to maybe sneak in a watch party for one of my favorite Halloween movies, or maybe just watch Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, or something. I don't know. But,
I watched that already, but yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I'll put it on Twitter if I'm doing something, but it's always fun or maybe Night Stalker. I haven't watched Night Stalker in a while, or some of the Night Stalker shows. So, but yeah, Halloween is just a fun time of year for all these horror movies and ghosts and goblins. Except that the weather sucks here in Connecticut, so I hope it's not raining tomorrow. Because then we're gonna be stuck with all the candy at home if we don't give it all away. I'm gonna end up eating it and getting even fatter. So please, good weather. But yeah, everyone have a great fun Halloween. Stay safe and eat too much candy.
All right. Yes, indeed. Everybody have a safe and happy Halloween. Hopefully I'll see you on the morning show. Take care and good night, kids. Bye-bye.
Cute kitty.